Hey everyone, and welcome to another Marks & Crafts review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Itsuki Nakano in the Coreful Taito prize figure line of figures. Now, while I was reviewing these in order before of Ichika and Nino, unfortunately I haven't gotten the Miku and Yotsuba figures yet, which would have been traditionally 3 and 4 of the figure line, and instead I've jumped straight to Itsuki, which is number 5. I promise I am going to be doing the reviews of Miku and Yotsuba as well. I just don't have them yet, and therefore can't review them yet. So, just jumping straight ahead to Itsuki. These figures are numbered in technically the order that they were born in, even though they are all quintuplets. Some of them were born slightly earlier than others. But yeah, so we're going to be going 1, 2, 5, and then 3 and 4. Maybe not even in order, we'll see. It really depends on my mood when I record them. So anyway, moving on. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Coreful Itsuki. Now, as I've probably as I can't really remember if I've discussed it in detail or not in the other reviews, because believe it or not, it has been quite a while since I've recorded, because I was very distracted with Elden Ring for a time. I can't really remember if I described too much about the history of quintuplets. I'm pretty sure I said that Ichika is my least favorite and Nino is one of my favorites, but I don't think I really talked about Itsuki. And Itsuki to me seems like the very standard sort of main heroine of any sort of anime, and in this case the main heroine of a harem series. And being the main heroine, you get a lot of sort of like base traits and all sorts of things that you assume about the character and things like that. And while there is quite a bit going on with Itsuki, not a lot is fully fleshed out with her, and she sort of just plays that main heroine role and nothing else happens. And therefore she is kind of boring and uninteresting, even though she is like the glutton of the thing and the glutton of the group, and she's trying to be a teacher, or she wants to learn how to study better and things like that. She has a lot going on for her, but there's sometimes reason for it, sometimes not. She just feels like she's the most underdeveloped out of the cast, which is a bit of a shame, because generally it is a strong cast, because love her or hate her, Ichika is a strong character. And Itsuki, I just don't think she has much of an impact. Generally, she has a great design, but yeah, she's not like super impactful as a character and things like that. Anyway, that's my little spiel about the series. Today we're talking about the figure, and let's unbox this and get it out of the way. Now here's Itsuki out of the box, and much like the other figures, you can probably tell how well detailed this is for a prize figure. I know my camera wasn't the best, or at least my lighting wasn't the best when I did the Ichika review. But when I did the Nino, the lighting was much better, and that figure was fantastically detailed. And I think you can tell from this figure as well that it is another very, very well detailed one. Very nice, vibrant colors, nice texturing, good detail work. There are some errors, but nothing to break the figure at all, and nothing immediately apparent on the face or anything like that, or front facing. So you can see there's some beautiful little blush detailed under her eyes, nice sculpted in mouth. The eyes are really, really well detailed. She's got a little star accessories in her hair. The hair does get a little bit clear at the tips, like all these other Coreful figures I've been looking at. There's a little cowlick on top. And yeah, it's just really nice, really well detailed. There's a seam line in the middle of her hair, but doesn't matter. It seems pretty standard at this point. You can see all the clear parts of her hair. She's got a nice expression, nice pose for her hands, and detail and ruffles in her clothes. If we take a closer look at her jumper, it's actually textured, which is very nice, and the jacket is textured differently, which is even better. Some of the line work on the jacket, like the white light trim, isn't that clean, and inside of her hair, this bit here, you can see sort of where the spray of the paint didn't covered a little too much area, but it doesn't really matter too much because you never notice it. The dress is all colored in one color, but the natural folds in the sculpt give it a very beautiful shaded effect. And it's also very nice and dynamic, which is very cool. Legs are nicely detailed, shoes are nicely detailed and color separated. It's a little tiny bit splotchy, but really it's not any issue at all. And you can also see the base as number 5, Nakano Itsuki, and little love hearts floating around it, and it's nice. And from these few Coreful figures that I've looked at, the quality control and consistency is quite good. I've heard a few horror stories about the bases being easy to break or shipping and being broken on arrival and things like that. Thankfully, I haven't really noticed any issues. The only major issue that I had was that Nino figure where I had to shave down the peg of her foot because it didn't fit because it was molded the wrong way. But that was the only issue. Otherwise, this is just a fantastic figure, very well detailed, very well sculpted, really captures the character. I am glad that they are doing the Coreful line because it's nice to have standard figures all in an iconic outfit, and the way all of the quintuplets have spun their outfit, it's all unique. I don't know if it's really up to school regulations, but you know, doesn't really matter. But yeah, look, it's a good figure, even though she's not my favorite or anything like that, and she doesn't really leave much of an impression. She does have an iconic image. It's so hard to describe. Like, when I picture the franchise, I picture her, but I don't like the franchise because of her. If that makes sense. It's so hard to describe unless like you've read it or watched it and have very similar opinions to me. But I digress. Even if I don't feel much about the character herself, the figure is very nice. Absolutely no regrets getting it. She's going to fit right in with the other figures that I've gotten so far. I am glad that they are going to do a new mold for Ichika, because the previous mold, like, it looks like her and it is a nice figure, but like we saw in the Nino and we're seeing here, body proportions are important for the quintuplets, and they've gotten the body proportions right for Itsuki. Nino seemed a little more well endowed than I remember, but still, there was a bust there. Ichika didn't really look like she had anything, which was really weird, but the new sculpt looks like it's more in line with how I picture her as a character. And they are doing another new Nino, and they are doing another new Miku. I can only assume that they're going to do another Yotsuba and another Itsuki at some point, whether or not it's just a simple new pose or another design. Like, the Nino is the same figure pose, but with a significant design change because of the second season. The Ichika is a completely reworked figure. So we'll see what they do after that, because I think the Miku is just they changed the pose of her arms, but it was enough to really change the figure quite a bit. And I know that all of these Coreful figures are based off certain key arts from the anime. I don't know if the rework ones are as well, but look, I'm sort of getting off track because we are meant to be talking about Itsuki, although I feel like I've already covered everything that needs to be said. It's an inexpensive prize figure, there's paint errors, there's issues with it, but it's nothing major. It doesn't really impact the figure at all. For a prize figure, this is very good. I've had pop-up parades much worse than this, as I've also documented on this channel. And yeah, look, I'm massively impressed with these. The scale's nice, the coloring's great, natural shadows make it look a lot more detailed than it actually is. It's just fantastic. And one of the things I really like about these Coreful quintuplets so far, all of the faces are fairly identical in terms of general shape, detail, and color, which is great because these are quintuplets, so they're all meant to have the same face. It's how they're expressed and things like that that changes them. And so the expression here is definitely Itsuki, the Nino's expression was definitely Nino, the Ichika's expression was definitely Ichika, and I quite like that. So yeah, this is just another rock solid figure, and I look forward to seeing the other two when I finally get around to reviewing them. It will probably be another month or so, who knows. I know my channel release schedule is weekly, but I might need to backload quite a few videos just because so much stuff has happened in the last few weeks, and I'm never going to get to the end of my mountain of stuff to do unless I release a ton of videos all at once. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that's it for the review. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you all next time.